If you use the wrong Facebook ad objective, your ad campaign will almost certainly fail. It's essential that you choose the right one, and the right one for your specific business and the strategy that you're using. In this video, I'm going to explain the various options and which one you should use. So to demonstrate this, I'm in an example Facebook ad account. I'm in Ads Manager, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this green plus create button. And we can see that the first thing that we need to select, obviously other than buying type, is our campaign objective. And we now have 6 Facebook ad campaign objectives. We used to have more options. There are still a few ad accounts that have the previous setup, but the vast majority are now actually on this setup. And I want to talk through the various options. I'm not going to go through them in order because I don't think that's how people typically start with their Facebook advertising. I'm going to go through that order because I think that's probably more useful for people, but we will cover all 6 and I'll explain which ones you want to use and when. So before we go through each ad objective individually, I need to quickly explain why they are so important. Your ad objective is going to determine how your Facebook and Instagram ad campaign is optimized. What is it trying to get you? So for example, and we'll get to this more in detail in a minute, if you select sales, Meta's going to try and get you as many sales as possible. If you select traffic, Meta's going to try and send you as many people to your website as possible. They might sound like the same thing, they are not. So by selecting the wrong one, you're effectively saying to Meta, go out and get me this thing that I'm asking you for, when that thing might not be actually what's most beneficial for your business. So it's absolutely essential that you get the right one, that you have Meta's machine learning and AI systems working in your favor, trying to get you the best results possible for the things that actually matter for you as a business. Okay, so with that said, let's go through the various options. So the place where most new Facebook advertisers start is traffic. And people think, I'll get as much traffic as possible. I'll send as many people from Facebook and Instagram to my website as possible. They'll then go on and become a lead. They'll then go on and purchase if I've got an e-commerce store, for example. That rarely happens. I'll explain a bit more about that later. But that's why people select traffic when they get started. They think, that's what I want. I want to send as many people to my website as possible. That's what it does. Fairly straightforward. That's not what I'd recommend most Facebook advertisers do. We typically use traffic in one of 2 scenarios. The first would be if we genuinely just want traffic. So we just want someone to click through and read a blog post or just consume a piece of content. All we really want there is traffic. We may look to retarget them later on to try and convince them to purchase, become a lead, etc. But if we're just wanting some sort of consumption, like a blog post, we might use traffic. The other scenario is if we're looking to send people to our Instagram profile. So if you select traffic, then at the ad set level, you can then send people directly to your Instagram profile as opposed to your website or a landing page or something like that. I have a whole separate video on how to do that. I'll include a link to that in the video description below. And we want to take advantage of being able to send people directly to our Instagram profile. Either because we're running a campaign to try and get more Instagram followers, which we will do. We'll try and increase the clients of ours following from time to time if we feel that that's appropriate. And we may also be doing it if we're using what's called the Instagram profile method, where we are looking to turn an Instagram profile into somewhat of a sales page where it's got, you know, client testimonials and story highlights demonstrating the product or service and all sorts of things to help get people to convert. If we're doing that, then again, we'll use traffic because we want to take advantage of that feature where we can send people, you can select it at the ad set level directly to someone's Instagram profile. But that is it. If we're looking for like traditional sales, like an e-commerce business, or we're looking for leads via someone's website or landing page, we will almost never use traffic. We'll be looking to use sales or leads, and I'll get into that more in a minute. The only caveat to that is if we cannot track sales or leads, we cannot track those actions that are taking place. So let's say we're sending people through to a website who then go on to book a lead through some sort of third-party software and we can't track that action, or purchase through some sort of third-party software and we can't track that action. And in that scenario, there really is no other option. We're going to go ahead and use traffic. Okay, so the next ad objective I want to talk about is engagement. So this is designed to get you engagement on Facebook and Instagram, designed to get you social interactions. So things like likes or other reactions to your ads. It could be comments on your ads. It could be getting people to share. It could be video views. It's just trying to get people to engage. That's the idea behind engagement. Now, in my opinion, Facebook advertisers use this far too much. They think that what I want is engagement. I want people to engage with my ads because if they engage with my ads, they will then go through and purchase, become a lead, etc. And just like with traffic, it rarely works that way. Meta's really good at identifying people that will engage, but might not necessarily do other things. With that said, there are some circumstances where we will use engagement. Firstly, if we just genuinely want engagement, we're trying to, let's say, deepen the relationship between a business and the followers that they already have. We might use engagement, run an ad campaign specifically to those people to get them to view a video, engage with it, comment, etc. Okay, we might use engagement in that scenario. The other scenario would be, again, to take advantage of some specific features where we can send people certain places, but only with the engagement objective. Just like how with traffic, we can send people directly to our Instagram profile. With engagement, we can send people directly to our Facebook page. Again, if you're trying to build a Facebook page, trying to get page likes, page followers, then that's what we look to do. And we will do that for businesses sometimes, because if you're trying to advertise a product or service and you've only got 48 followers on a page, it's quite difficult to look credible. So often we'll run a quick campaign to boost that following before we then go and advertise. And then a recent option that's been added for some Facebook advertisers at this point, but not all, is the ability to send people directly to a Facebook group. Again, you can do that using the engagement objective if you have this feature. But those really are the only scenarios in which we're going to use engagement. If we want people to take that next step directly from this ad, purchase, inquire, etc., we're not going to use engagement. A lot of advertisers do, and I think that's a mistake. I'll also include links in the video description down below to those videos that show you how to build a Facebook page following or build a Facebook group using the engagement objective. Okay, next ad objective I want to talk about is awareness. Again, this is somewhere where a reasonable amount of new Facebook advertisers will start. They think, I've got a new business, a new brand, I want to get my name out there and I want people to know about us and that sort of thing. And I think that unless you have a really large budget, the idea behind just getting yourself out there is somewhat flawed. You're not going to be able to spend enough to get enough impressions to reach critical mass to really develop any sort of significant brand awareness. For larger businesses with bigger budgets, absolutely, we use awareness. But for a lot of businesses where their ad budgets aren't big and they don't go that far, as in, look, we're spending this amount this month, we really need to generate some leads and sales from this, otherwise we can't afford to keep doing this, I don't think awareness is usually the best way to go. You're going to be better off with other options that I'll discuss in a minute. With that said, there is one big example where we will use the awareness objective, and that's when we're using my omnipresent content strategy. And that's typically where we're taking a group of people, usually a warm audience, and we're putting ads in front of them again and again and again, ticking various points, things like delivering value, client testimonials, demonstrating how a product or service works, all that sort of stuff that we know helps take people from not knowing what we do to ready to convert. Now, that is a slow process. It's a very effective strategy, but it does take time, usually at least a number of months. I'll include, again, another link in the video description to a video that shows you that strategy and how it works. And we will use awareness quite often when we are running that strategy. Only suitable for certain businesses, but it's very effective. But I think particularly for beginners, for most advertisers that want immediate results or close to immediate results, that's probably not the best place to start. That gets us on to the next two, which are leads and sales. So most of the Facebook ad campaigns that we run are going to be using the leads or the sales campaign objectives. And we very simply, how we choose between the two is which one do we really want. Are we advertising a service-based business where the eventual conversion is going to take place not online typically? So let's say we're advertising a service where someone inquires, they book a call, they book a free survey, they book a free quote. Well, that business is then going to interact with that person over the phone, maybe visit their property, whatever it happens to be, and then they're going to convert outside of like the direct action of clicking on an ad and going through, in which case we'll use leads. With sales, that's going to cover e-commerce businesses, anywhere where we can get a direct checkout. If we're advertising an event and people can purchase tickets, we're going to use sales if we can track those ticket purchases. Now, to use leads or sales, it's very, very important that you have the Meta Pixel installed so that you're able to track those actions. That's how you can see the results you're generating. It's also how Meta can optimize your campaigns. Remember at the beginning I said how important it is to get Meta's machine learning process and AI processes on your side, helping you out. Well, Meta needs to know what a sale looks like. They need to know what a lead looks like to be able to do that. So make sure you've got the Meta Pixel installed. Again, another link in the video description below. Lots of links today, but trying to make this video as useful as possible, and you can check out the various options that you want. So I would say that somewhere between 80 and 90% of all the campaigns we run are going to be sales or lead campaigns. And when you select those options, there are then further options at the ad set level when it comes to destination. So for example, if we go ahead and select leads and click continue, and then we can jump to the ad set level, we can see that the default is instant forms. So that's actually not taking people off your website. It's keeping people within Facebook and Instagram, presenting them with a lead form, an instant form where they can submit their information. You can then contact them and look to progress that person through the sales process. But you can send people to your website or a landing page. You can send people directly to Messenger, to chat with you on Instagram. There's a number of different options there. So that's just something to be aware of when you are selecting the leads objective, that you have as an option different conversion locations. It's not just sending people through to your website, as some people tend to think, particularly when they're not familiar with all the nuances of conversion locations and campaign objectives and things like that. And then jumping back quickly to our campaign objective list, we've also got app promotion, which is very simply great for app installs, or if you want to directly advertise to people that have already installed the app but get them to take specific actions like signing up for in-app purchases, you can also run campaigns that are optimized that way as well. So now that we've covered these 6 ad objectives in a bit of detail, I just want to reiterate and really emphasize how important it is that you get the right one here. If you want leads, go for leads. If you want sales, go for sales. That's the most important message that I want to get across with this video, because I see a lot of advertisers thinking, well, surely traffic will send lots of people to my website and then they'll go on and become a lead. That might sound good in theory, but doesn't work in practice. Meta's machine learning processes, their optimization systems are so good at getting you what you want. So for example, if you select traffic, Meta's going to put your ads in front of people that are highly likely to click. They might not necessarily be the same people that are going to go on and become a lead. I know that might sound weird, particularly if you're new to Facebook advertising, but I promise you it does happen. Whereas if you select leads, you'll probably get less clicks on your ads, but the people that do click through are far more likely to go on and become a lead, because Meta is trying to get you as many leads as possible. And as your campaign runs, they'll see, oh, people are more likely to become leads at this time of day, this day of the week, if they're this age, if they're interested in ABC, and so on and so forth, and they have all these data points to really help you improve your results. So just really, really important. Don't try and game the system. Don't try and be clever. Don't think, well, I'll get engagement and then I'll get so much social proof on the ad that it will perform really well and then it will generate loads of sales. No, if you want sales directly, go for sales. There are scenarios where you want to use other strategies. I've talked about that. Things like omnipresent content, the Instagram profile method, that's when you want to use different ad objectives, but just be very clear and intentional up front of, okay, this is what I want, therefore I need this campaign objective, this is how it's going to work. Okay, so there are some really important other things I need to mention when it comes to Facebook ad objectives. Before I do that, I want to quickly mention our done-for-you Facebook and Instagram advertising services. So my company can create, manage, and optimize your Facebook and Instagram ads for you. We can most likely help you get significantly better results by doing so. Take that workload off your hands. If you are interested in finding out more, there is a link in the description. You can click on that, go through to a page on our website where you can book in a free call with one of my team members who can explain how we work. We may well have worked with business just like yours in the past. So yeah, if you're interested, go ahead and book a call and hopefully we get a chance to work together. So selecting the right Facebook ad objective is really important, but you can undo that good work if you use the wrong performance goal. I'll explain what I mean. So if I go ahead and select leads and click continue, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the ad set level. If we just quickly change from instant forms to website, because that will change the performance goal options, and we scroll down, we'll see that the default here, the performance goal is maximize number of conversions. That's exactly what we want, right? We're tracking leads via our website. We want as many of that type of conversion as possible. Please, Meta, go ahead, do your magic, get us as many leads as possible, right? But if you go ahead and change this performance goal from maximize number of conversions to maximize number of link clicks, maybe even maximize number of landing page views, there are a few different options, but let's say go with link clicks for now, that is going to function exactly the same as a traffic campaign that is also got the performance goal of maximize number of link clicks. You're not going to get any benefit out of actually optimizing for leads and having Meta's AI systems try and get you as many leads as possible if you go ahead and undo the good work by selecting the right campaign objective by selecting the wrong performance goal, okay? So just be very clear that if you're going after leads, sales, it's very important that the performance goal, not just the ad campaign objective, is designed to get you those leads, sales, etc. And you'll see that there are different performance goals for different campaign objectives, and just be clear that whatever you've selected matches up with what it is that you actually want, okay? So if we're running the omnipresent content strategy and we're using the awareness objective, we're going to want as much reach as possible, because that's the whole idea. We want to put these ads in front of people again and again and again. We want them to see it. We're not looking for them to do anything particular, like purchase, become a lead at that point with that campaign objective. So whichever strategy you're going with out of the various ones we've talked about, or we've linked to in other videos that you may well check out, just think, how does this follow through? Does the performance goal match up? In this case, if we're looking to directly generate leads, very important that if we're sending people to our website, we want to maximize number of conversions. We want as many leads as possible, and we want Meta to do a lot of the hard work for us in getting those leads, which they will with this setup. They won't with a different setup. Another thing to quickly mention about ad objectives is that you can't change the objective of a campaign that's already been running. You'll have to recreate a new campaign. I'd also be wary about duplicating an existing campaign and changing the ad objective. Like if you take a traffic campaign, you'd think, oh, I shouldn't be running traffic, I should actually be running a lead campaign or a sales campaign, and you duplicate that traffic campaign, try and change the ad objective before it goes live, that might mess up some of the other settings, because of course, whatever ad objective you choose then affects a lot of the other things at the ad set level, even at the ad level, can be different depending on the ad objective. So that's just something to be wary of. If you think, I've used the wrong one, I can't change the existing campaign ad objective, I'll just duplicate and change that, you might be better off just recreating from scratch. I know it's a bit more work, takes a bit more time, but you're less likely to run into issues that prevent your ads running or running properly, okay? And I thought you might find this interesting. So this is a poll that I recently did. These are the results from my audience, where I've asked them, which Facebook ad campaign objective do you use most? And you can see that fortunately, most of my audience is well trained. They are definitely using the campaign objectives in about the proportion that I would expect. The vast majority, what are we looking at here? 80% are sales and leads, more towards the sales side, but that makes a lot of sense, and a lot of people that watch my videos are e-com businesses, for example, and then there's a little bit on awareness, traffic, and engagement, and I'm also fine with that. I didn't want to see zeros in those because, like I've discussed in this video, there are scenarios where we will use all three of those depending on what we're doing strategy-wise and things like that. So that is absolutely the sort of ratio that we would expect, and that's probably how ours look. We might be a bit more on the awareness side because we run omnipresent content quite a lot, but in terms of if we break down all the campaigns we're running for clients, it's going to look something along these lines. So I thought you might find that interesting, just to back up what I've said. Using the right ad objective is essential to Facebook ad success, but if you want fantastic results from your Facebook ads, there's a lot of other things that you need to get right as well. I show you exactly how to do that in this video here. In this video, I provide a full walkthrough of campaign creation from scratch, from the ad objective stage all the way through to actually creating ads. So if you want the best possible results, I strongly recommend you go ahead and check this out.